Welcome back to TechnoSurgeon YouTube channel. So Nvidia has just launched its RTX 4060 and 4060 Ti, and the performance is not that good. So let's just see what they had shown. 4060 and 4060 Ti has been launched, and it comes with 4060 comes with 8 GB or 16 GB of memory size, which is nice to see. But when you compare the CUDA cores, 4060 Ti comes with 4352 CUDA cores, which is 500 cores less compared to RTX 3060 Ti, while the boost clock is 2.54 GHz and base clock is 2.51 GHz. So no, 2.31 GHz base clock, which is higher, and the memory configuration is either 8 GB of GDDR6 or 16 GB of GDDR6, and the total graphics power is 160 watts for 8 GB and 165 watts for 165 watts for 16 GB on a 128-bit bus. And 4060, it comes with 3072 kilocores, which is also 500 cores less compared to RTX 3060. Boost clock of 2.46 GHz and a base clock of 1.83 GHz, 8 GB of GDDR6 on a 128-bit bus, and board power is 115 watts. So the leak was on par, and they had shown us a little bit of performance. The performance chart, which comes from directly from Nvidia, and 4060 Ti when it compares to 3060 Ti. In frame generation, it's 70% higher, but without frame generation, it's just 15% faster compared to 3060 Ti. When compared to 2060 Super, which is outdated at this point, is 60% powerful compared to compared to pure rasterization, but 15% in pure rasterization is bad, and it's just 30% faster when compared to 3070, which looks mediocre. So Nvidia is just going all in with their frame generation tech. As you can see, 4060 Ti with frame generation is more powerful when compared to 3060 Ti, but without frame generation, it's just on par. It's just 15% faster. And the same case with 4060. When you compare it with 3060, with frame generation it's faster, and without frame generation it's 20% faster. So yeah, and 4060 Ti 8 GB variant will come on 24th of May at 399 bucks, and 16 GB is coming in July later, and it will cost 500 bucks, and 4060 Ti 500 bucks. With that, performance is bad. And 4060 is also coming in July at 299 bucks, 300 bucks. So yeah, that's it regarding. And at 300 bucks, 3060, it looks nice, but at 8 GB of VRAM and the performance, it's bad. And just 20% uplift compared to 3060, it's bad. And 4060 Ti 15% uplift compared to 3060 Ti, it looks really terrible. And Nvidia also just confirms in the same press release what we've been knowing for a while long regarding 8 GB of VRAM is not plus, because they compare 4060 Ti 8 GB to 8 GB variant and 4060 Ti 16 GB. And 1460 Ti, they said 1080p max setting, DLSS and RT on configuration, but when you say it for 4060 Ti 8 GB variant, it says max setting, but except for a plug requirement which is at high preset, and Resident Evil remake is on ray tracing preset, so it is not on max settings. So yeah, it just confirms it like 8 GB of VRAM is not that powerful as of now, and you need at least 16 GB or 12 GB to play most AAA games, even at 1080p. So 1080p max settings, so it looks bad from Nvidia side, but what we can say. But also 7600 RX 7600 also comes with 8 GB of VRAM, but it will come down to the pricing, because if it's like 300 bucks, it's well and good. And speaking of AMD's implementation, we have a new leak, not a leak, but just a confirmation coming from CPUC. And there was a post regarding AMD's 7600, which just confirms the specs, and it comes from Tech Power Up CPUC, and it says 8 GB of VRAM on 6 nanometer technology. So this just confirms it, that it comes with 32 CUs, 2048 stream processor, 1720 MHz base clock, 2250 MHz game clock, and 2650 MHz 55 MHz boost clock, 8 GB of GDDR6 memory on a 128-bit bus. So yeah, this just confirms that. And when you compare it with RX 6600, it's a bit of an improvement, because that came with 28 CUs. So this is kind of an improvement in CUs. And given the fact like 7900 XT and XTX has just more cores compared to 6900 XT, the performance was high. So 7600 will also get a massive performance uplift, but at the same time, we don't know like 8 GB of VRAM will be enough or not. And speaking of 8 GB of VRAM, we also saw something like Radeon RX 7900 XT can literally beat RTX 4090 if pushed to its limits. Basically, on a CPU block which is 1700 XT, true limit has been tested where it has been used where it hits 3.46 GHz and it is hardware mods involves uh, a water block, just our GPU water clock, PCB water cooler on a tough motherboard. So basically, it water cooled the CPU and it doesn't use liquid nitrogen, but it scored a whopping 3.467 megahertz, but it gets 700 watts of power, which is insane. And the GPU clock average at time spy was 3033 megahertz, and it scored a graphics score of 3870 725, which is higher than RTX 4090 in same score time spike frame, set 19127. And in some cases it loses, but in some it just beats RTX 4090s. But at that power draw, it won't get an efficiency award, but it just shows like what AMD's 1700 XT is capable of if pushed way higher, that it can literally challenge RTX 4090. So yeah, there might be a thing where RX 1750 XTX will be the king come going forward. But yeah, that's it from me today. What do you think about all of the things going on? Sound of your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share and subscribe, and I will meet you in the next one.